Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make kimchi, which is a traditional side dish in Korean cuisine. It's made up of salted or fermented vegetables. There's hundreds of varieties of kimchi. However, today I'll be showing you how to make it with napa cabbage and radish. So kimchi is believed to originate as early as during the Three Kingdoms, which is between 37 BC to around 7 AD. And it's believed that during the Three Kingdoms that fermented food was actually very popular. Okay, you guys might be wondering, what does ferment mean? What does fermentation mean, since I've mentioned it a few times already? So we all know that most organisms undergo cellular respiration, which is the breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen to gain energy from food. However, when there's no oxygen present, some organisms such as bacteria, yeast, undergo a process called fermentation. In the case of kimchi, they actually undergo a process called lacto-fermentation, in which the probiotic found in kimchi, the lactobacilli, feast off of the sugars from the cabbage and the radish, as well as the Asian pear that we will be putting into it. And it creates the byproducts of CO2 and lactic acid. And these byproducts are what gives kimchi its unique taste and tanginess. Alright guys, so let's get started.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you guys what ingredients you guys are going to need. First, you're going to need a napa cabbage. If you have one like this, that's around 5 to 6 pounds, you only need one. But if you have a smaller one that's around 3 to 4 pounds, you're going to need 2. Next, you're going to need a radish that's around 1 to 2 pounds. You will also need 3 to 4 scallions, a bag of coarse sea salt. You would need around 4 cloves of garlic and 1 ginger. Coarse red pepper powder. 1/4 cup of dried shrimp, which we will mince later. 1 tablespoon of glutinous rice flour. 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. 1 Asian pear. 1 large strainer. 2 large tubs. And gloves of your choice. Now we will cut the cabbage into quarters. First, we will cut it in half, and then we will cut the halves again. Don't fully cut the cabbage in half with a knife. Rather, cut it halfway, and then pull them apart into separate 2 pieces by hand. Running the knife all the way through will unnecessarily cut off the cabbage leaves. Now we will cut them into quarters. Again, don't run your knife through all the way. Cut it in half first, and then pull it apart the rest of the way by hand. Now to wash the cabbage, we will add 1/2 cup of the coarse sea salt into a tub of water and mix until it dissolves. Now we will wash each quarter in the salt water. Go through each leaf and scrub it clean. Now transfer the quarter into a new tub, and now we will salt it. So to each leaf, you're going to add a generous amount of salt to the white part, and you will rub it in thoroughly. Do this to every leaf, and make sure to add a generous amount of salt. This will make sure your cabbage is completely clean. Once you have salted all the leaves, you pour the remaining salt water and let it sit for 6 to 8 hours. After soaking for around 6 to 8 hours, the leaves should now be bendable. This is when you know that it's ready to be rinsed. So we will rinse it around 3 to 4 times in clean water. Do this to all the quarters. Make sure to rinse each leaf thoroughly to get rid of all the salt. After rinsing 3 times, set the quarter aside to let dry in a strainer while we move on to the next step. To make the glutinous rice flour paste, add 2.5 cups of water to a pot. Add 1 cup of the powder to the water and then using either a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula, mix until it turns transparent. Then let it sit aside to cool. While you're waiting for the glutinous rice powder paste to cool, cut the radish and Asian pear into match-shaped pieces. Here are the ingredients that you will need to make your seasoning. You will need 3 tablespoons of fish sauce, 3 tablespoons of minced garlic, half a cup of water, 1/4 cup of minced salted shrimp, and then 1/2 cup of red chili pepper flakes. Now mix all of these ingredients together to make the seasoning. Now add 1 tablespoon of the glutinous rice powder paste to your seasoning mix, and then mix well together. Remember to use gloves because the paste will be very sticky. Now you will add the cut radish and Asian pear into your seasoning mix. You will also cut up 1-inch pieces of the scallion as well. Now mix it all together. What this will do is that the Asian pear will add sweetness to the seasoning, while the radish will actually help neutralize all the spiciness that comes from the red chili pepper flakes. Now we are going to rub the seasoning all over each leaf of the cabbage. Just like how earlier you had to rub salt onto each leaf, except now you're going to rub the seasoning mix onto each leaf. Make sure to coat every single leaf with a generous amount of the seasoning. Have a container ready to store your kimchi in. Make sure that is airtight and is big enough to hold your kimchi. Place the kimchi into the container cut side up. Leave out at room temperature for 1 to 2 days depending on how fast you want your kimchi to ripe, and then you can store into your fridge. Although you can start eating at any time, kimchi needs about 2 weeks in the fridge to fully develop the flavors. After 2 weeks of fermenting in the fridge, this is the final result. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed.